Well, I'm gonna, well, no, actually, I just did a recording. Hi, good morning, good morning. My name is Sapin Pratt. I am the Associate Director of Service Learning and Community Engagement with the Reliance Learning Institute. Thank you so much for being here for this particular session, which is our last faculty conversation of the week. And it is titled Reflection and Growth, Nurturing Active Listening and Constructive Dialogue Through Teaching Table Presentations with Dr. Shadi Kanan. Yes. Okay. Yeah. And we are recording this session. What we're going to be doing is I'm just going to read your bio, introduce you, then I'm just going to hand it over to you to lead the presentation. So Shadi joined Bellevue College as a full-time faculty in the SUI Division Nursing Program. Shadi joined Bellevue College directly after he got his doctoral degree in nursing from Kent State University, Kent, Ohio, the summer of 2020. He started his nursing career after he got his bachelor's degree of nursing BSN from Jordan University of Science and Technology, Jordan in 2001. He also went on to receive his master's of science in nursing from the same university in 2005. His nursing career began on a cath lab unit, but the majority of his experience has been spent in nursing education in several universities and colleges. Shadi believes that delivering nursing care to a person is an honor, and that teaching future nurses of tomorrow is a blessing. He is excited to apply this principle to his teaching role to help shape the next generation of Bellevue College nurses. Thank you so much for joining us today, and look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Everyone here, and first of all, good morning, and thank you to be here for, and we always, as we know, this weekend is going to be a long weekend, so most of you will just prepare for the Memorial Day, and well, thank you for being there. So today, this is going to be the last lecture, and we're going to talk about nurturing, active listening, and constructive dialogue for teaching table presentation. Why I think about this, doing like this, because actually I would like to measure the effect of teaching the dialogue, not by myself as an instructor, how my students gonna do the dialogue. This is one of the most challenges for my students. Actually, I'm teaching nursing, and we know nurses should have a good socialization with others, good communication, not just with patients, also with everyone, because the nurses gonna, even in the hospital or the facility, should contact everyone, from the physician, from healthcare workers, to the visitor, to the patient. So communication is the key success for any relation. During this lecture or this reflection, actually, it's well focused on, one of my group actually did a project of table for mental health. Yes, here. As we see here in the picture, this is one of my group community health clinical. Those students, actually all from around the SN students, they did like a project about a table actually in the housing cafeteria lawn for educate the faculty students about the mental health and other health issues related to the mental. In fact, if you are why they decided to take this, or we as a group, as with my students, because we had a major, major issues regarding the mental health. So who's doing this project? Actually, we conducted that last yesterday on the housing area, on the cafeteria lawn. Why we picked mental health? We have some significant, move to the next slide. According to the NEA, National Education State, said, I'm talking nationwide, the majority of the college students today meet the criteria for at least one mental health problem. At first. Second, the rates of the mental health problems are the same among all students. There is no difference between from which class or what you race it. But students with color, actually, as they said, according to them, to the National Educational Association, colored students are less likely to get treatment, which is going to make it more complicated. Also, there is healthy mind network. This is a survey sent yearly annually among more than 450 colleges across the nation, and the respondents more than 500,000 students. They said about 44% of the college students in general, they experience depression. Look to this another number now. We have 37%. They have an anxiety. And what we actually shocked us, more than 15% of them attempt suicide or they have a suicide ideation from the mental health issues. Let's go to the building college, our college. My students sent a survey to the housing students here, like a quick survey. That survey revealed that more than 40% of the students have an anxiety or stress during the last 12 months. So 40%, which is similar to that National Educational Association. So it's a big problem. Let's be honest, it's a big problem for our students. And we need to take action, or at least we need to think about this problem. One of the struggles, because again, my project now going to focus about how we're going to facilitate the dialogue about the mental health, how to start a conversation. You know, it's sensitive, very sensitive issues. Mental health issues, even I have like, for my background, for my culture, or different culture, if you have any mental health issues, that's considered as shame or stigma. So no one would like to talk about the mental health issues. So we think as a group with my students, how are we going to start? First of all, we put like a nice poster that's going to be start to attract the other students to come to discuss that. For example, we put this poster like, do you have any anxiety or stress? Would you like to talk? We go high, smiling, and the nerves, and the mental health. That's meant to break down, to break the ice between you and the other who's going to start the conversation. Again, because this is not, we're not talking about the other health issues like diseases or something. No, we talk about the mental health. And we know some people consider that as a shame to talk about it or stigma. So we focused about how we're going to first to break down this relations. So the best answer, the best way to start with this one, actually, we put this dialogue here as we see in this picture. For example, my name, the good things to introduce ourselves. First of all, as a nurse, we have to dress professionally to put your name, to let the other side know who are you first, introduce yourself, tell them why are we here to just help, to provide resources, to support. Again, one of the actually effective way to start the conversation or dialogue to start from the general statement. For example, stress is something we all experience, that we share it, not just for you, it's for you and me as well, from time to time. So have you ever experienced stress? Again, because if you see here in this dialogue, for example, this person, maybe, or the lady here, the student, thought she's good because I'm fine. I don't have, I need this because I'm good. I don't feel I need any support. But when she started to talk about her live. I had exam, I had tuition, I had, so all that put something called stressor, and that will increase the pressure on your life. So again, stress or anxiety, it's a sum of the pressures and stressors on your life, ended by the stress. Something, yeah. So that's where we started. So how are we going to start the conversation? It's important first of all we introduce ourselves clearly, why we are here. We need to support and introduce our name. Then we start the conversation by giving something shared between all of us. Like this is something coming for everyone. So then the students, so whenever we didn't ask the students to, if you have stress from the first meeting, no, we start from the general, introduce ourselves, hi, then we have a support, then we starting by put a statement, like a shared common statement between all of us. And that's actually was effective yesterday, to be honest. Yeah. Now, according to the active listening, which is important because students, not classifications, especially for the mental, like sensitive issues like mental health, we need to have something active listening. We applied ABCD method or strategy, starting with whenever the other side or the students start to talk to my students, I told him, pay attention with that, because this is a key for us continuing of the conversation, not just starting the conversation. I can't start with anyone with conversation, but I could start the conversation after a minute, because maybe he didn't respect me, maybe he didn't trust me, but what I was saying here. So let's see now. The first things we talked about the attentions. Pay full attention. I told him, whenever anyone comes to you, pay full attention with them, focus, avoid any distraction. And that's, I know it's sometimes could be hard to avoid the distraction, but make sure you are with other on the same page. So the attention, the first step for continuing the engage, the conversations. Next one, and I know a lot of research is talking about that. Body language. It's important because we know we have this open body language, we have a closed body language. So for any conversation, any dialogue, if you're not looking face to face to you, eye contact, that's mean you are good to speaking. So I'm gonna stop talking. So the second one to keep any conversation or dialogue is the body language. The third one, clarification, and it's so important for any sensitive issues. We're gonna talk about the mental health here. Yesterday, one of the students, I would love to share that. He came to us, starting talking about some mental issues. But actually he came because he wanted looking for some support for substance abuse. He told us about substance abuse. He tried to drift the conversation from the mental health to substance abuse. So if we don't give him the attention, more clarification, we didn't know. Actually, my students gave him all the resources here in the King County where he can contact, because he eventually at the end he told us, I am actually using some drugs, addicted to some drugs. So we give him some sources about that, but that we need to make sure we are clarified for everything that other side, side talks with us, what he exactly needs. So that's why we will ask more clarification for any questions to keep your conversations on, not shut down. The second strategy, the fourth strategy, sorry, digest. I told our students just be mentally processing the information. Try to connect. Now, actually, digest. You have, we know there is a rule that told you knowledge is power, right? Try to connect with what the other side taught with your knowledge to forward him to the best action. Your interventions based on what the students told you. So based on what he told you, you're gonna forward him to the best solution or action that he needs. So that is, it's a mental process to connect the other thoughts together with your knowledge. This is also so important to keep your conversation with others. The last one, engagement. If you are talking with me, that's talking, and there's no response from me, you're gonna stop the conversation, right? The dialogue or the communication. So now, the most important, you have to share your thoughts with others. Sharing the thoughts, and you have to be actively contributing with others because the others need to show you up interested. There is what's important is something you interested you to continue with sharing the conversation. But here's actually the problem. Sometimes some people share some information that against our beliefs, attitudes, which can lead to something called problem solving or conflict during the dialogue. And that could be happening with any conversation or dialogue. Oh, good. Okay. So most important, after we done yesterday with the table support table, sorry, we do some reflections about the problem solving because we saw some struggles. I saw some struggles between my challenges between my students and others. So to solve any problem during the conversation, that's what we can pick out from that. What's the funniest that is? Disagreement doesn't mean you are wrong or I should be wrong. No, disagreement that's give you another values, another point from others that I will consider as an opportunity for growth and learning. So the most important, create a climate of constructive, decent, and cultural that value diverse perspective by viewing disagreement as opportunity. So disagreement that doesn't mean something not good. No, it's opportunity that help us to support the others and to learn from this experience. The second thing we have non-judgmental atmosphere. Don't give conclusion or judgmental to the others just because he is talking about something or based on what he told you. So build a dialogue with safe and judgmental. I'm just hearing. I know that could be your opinion or not. There's no I'm not gonna judge according to your talking. The third things, which is important, referral, support, intervention, and referral by offering this supporting and recommend that during problem solving. Again, maybe those students, they don't believe on a type of support, give them option, other option given. Last one, connect with the relevant resources, such as therapy work. You have to be smart how to connect them with others. As well as we as a faculty, we need to know when we have to stop the dialogue with our students, when if there is any conflict with our students, when I have to go to the other resources, when I have to jump to the next step, or when I have to stop. Right? So all that can support the any problem solving during that dialogue. So for the conflict, and that's what I want to all of us to take away. For any conflict strategies, we need to be open always for other opinion, share your perspective and relationship and rationale, evidence, again, evidence that means knowledge is power and respectful, it's important. But always put it in mind, client central, client being the other side, whatever it is, students, could be customers, whatever, and self-reflections. That's also important for any conflict. Sometimes we think we are in the good, we are on the good side. No, listen to the others and don't make any judgment. Do you have any questions here? Does nobody have any questions? Okay. Yeah.
Unmute.
Yeah. Because that's what I would like to discuss. And if we have any questions, there is a good diagram being from Professor David Walters, University of Wisconsin, I think, about the reflective dialogues. We can see here the pictures, how it's going to be for that building. The reflective dialogue, the main function for the dialogue, how we're going to build a community, a good community, with the safe environment, with no judgments. Sometimes students, they have an idea, but they used to share because fear, because you have that authority or you have the power. So always open for discussion. Tell your students that this discussion not just, I'm not gonna do any judgment according to the discussion. Reflection, be clear with them. And that's gonna lead to transformation.
I'm just going to read it out. So the question is, did you have any conflicts between students during the conversations and how did you manage it?
Very good question. Yes, that was in yesterday. Yeah, one of the students came to the field and again start to escalate about why you are here, what are you looking for, why you asking, because when the students come to the table, we give them a small short survey. So he thought we are looking for some data. Are you looking for data? Are you collecting the data about us? So how are we gonna solve this one? Actually, we told the students that we are here just for education, and all these things gonna be mostly. No one knows anything about that. We're here to support you. So again, if you go to the ABCDE strategy, clarifications, be clear with others. So when we be clear with them, then he can calm down, and we offered him some options, give him some tables, and we told him this everything here is optional. If you would like to share, that's fine. If not, you can't. That's your right to not answer the survey, to not involve in this survey. And you can take any resources here, target, the shoes we have, and you can go. Then he thought that, yes, this is not just for collecting data for us or tracking us. This is the main goal for that, for supporting. And we told him, this is for community power, program. Yes.
My own question for you. I love what you're presenting about the ABCDE model, and I really love this reflection. Trust me, I'm gonna steal some of this from you. For students for whom English isn't their first language, right? A lot of what you're having them do is very conversational. And it can be really challenging, especially as we're talking about things like mental health and such. Right, sure. How do you support those students that you're working with? So not the students that they're interacting with, but the students you're working with. How do you support those students for whom English isn't their first language to feel comfortable and confident in their own abilities to have these conversations with other people? Where English is not their first language, where maybe they don't feel as confident in their English skills.
That's a good question. Yeah, thank you. This is a good question, actually. Now, for this, again, knowledge is power. Put that in your mind. You know more than me, you are stronger than me. This is the first one. So, I always told you, try to read when you start any conversation, especially for the scientific conversations. Try to have background knowledge. Now, for the look back to your questions. English, not a second language. Actually, I still found some struggle with them, how we're going to navigate and start that conversation. Some of them, they don't like to start or involve in any conversation. The best options for them that after this conversation, if you have any questions, just email me. And that's what I found. A lot of them, they start to send me email after the class or the lecture. Then you can either meet with them individually one-to-one or reply to their email. But how we gonna now? Maybe we need to find how we're gonna support them to be involved in that conversations from the beginning, and that's our role as a faculty or instructor to build a safe environment. According to the Professor David, called reflective dialogue, the main function of the dialogue is how we build a safe environment for our students. No judgment, open for discussion. Also how our reflection, be clear with them, give them your reflection, and be clear from the beginning to build the good community or build a safe environment to start the conversation. Thank you so much. Any questions? Any questions?
Do you have, can you go back to the ABCD
Yes.
model? Do you have a single slide that puts it all together?
I do. I will.
Or is there a website that we can?
Yeah, I think there's a references for it. I will.
Oh, can you go to the reference? I'll just type it in the chat.
Yes.
We'll see if it's there.
I don't know if it's there. Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'll share my screen again.
No, no. Don't leave the meeting. Click OK. Click OK. Click OK.
Okay.
Yeah. Now click share. Click the share button.
No,
The blue button above you. The blue button. There we go. All right. Doesn't look like there's something specifically on ABCDE, which is fine. I'm going to tell people, please take a photo of these resources.
Yeah, I will share one. I can share also the PowerPoint.
Yeah. I don't see any other questions. And I don't have any other questions at this stage. Oh no, go back to the resources. Yeah, just leave that up for right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if we have no other questions, I'm going to close it out. Thank you again, Shadi, for coming and presenting this to us. Your conversation, your topic is personally really meaningful to me because I spend a lot of my time Anybody in the audience who's worked with me knows that I'm really big into reflections. And so I really appreciate you talking through how you do reflections, but also how you encourage your students to talk with other people about really challenging conversations. So thank you again. Thank you so much for to the audience for joining us today. This was the last of our faculty conversations for Voices United, a week of campus-wide and civic conversation. If you joined us at any other time during the week, thank you. We're going to be sending out evaluations at some point later next week. Please take some time to fill it out. Otherwise, have a wonderful Friday. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, and good luck with the rest of the quarter, just wrapping things up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for